In the shadows of the Spider-Verse, one man dared to cheat his destiny. He wasn't chosen by the Spider-Totem and took what wasn't his. With the powers he stole, he carved his own path through the mythos of the Spider-Verse. But even the most cunning spider can't outrun the truth. Now let's jump into the video and find out who is Ezekiel Sims. Long before anyone knew his name, Ezekiel Sims made a bold move that would shape his destiny. He intervened and saved a sacred temple from destruction, not out of reverence but out of ambition. Beneath the surface of his good deed lay a selfish motive. He wanted power. He then coerced the temple's guardian into performing a forbidden ritual, one that would grant him the abilities of the Spider-Totem. The ritual worked, granting Ezekiel spider powers. The temple's guardian warned him he wasn't the chosen one, and the forces that governed such power would demand a price. Ezekiel then used his newfound abilities to build a fortune, founding WebCorps, a company that secretly operated as a front for the Spider Society. He became a man of influence, wealth, and mystery. The powers he was granted mirrored those of Spider-Man. He has superhuman strength and agility, can scale walls, and sense danger with a spider sense so sharp it borders on precognition. With his powers being so similar to Peter Parker's, neither could detect the other through their spider sense. But unlike Peter, Ezekiel didn't have to rely on gadgets or web shooters. His abilities were purely organic and mystical. Ezekiel also possessed deep knowledge of the ancient rites, particularly those tied to Kwaku Anansi, the legendary founder of the Spider Clan. When a radioactive spider bit both Peter Parker and Cindy Moon, Ezekiel took a strong interest. He took Cindy under his wing, training her in secret. But when he realized that Morlun, the devourer of totems, was hunting her, he locked her away in a hidden chamber deep within his tower, shielding her from his detection. Eventually, Ezekiel revealed himself to Peter, shocking Peter with his knowledge of his true identity and his own spider-like powers. He blew Peter's mind with a question and then disappeared. The next time the two met, Ezekiel warned Peter of Morlun's approach and offered him sanctuary in a specially designed room that could mask his presence. But Peter, ever the fighter, refused to hide. Morlun eventually arrived and Peter was brutally beaten. Desperate, he returned to Ezekiel begging for help. Ezekiel apologized and regretfully declined, believing he had no choice but to let Peter face his fate. But surprisingly, the next morning, Ezekiel returned and saved Peter from death. During the battle with Morlun, Ezekiel fell into the waters of the pier and vanished. After Peter defeated Morlun, he returned to Ezekiel's office to find it abandoned, except for a rubber spider and footprints on the window, proof that Ezekiel had survived. Time passed, and then Peter once again found himself facing another predator. That threat came in the form of Shathra, a spider-wasp entity who forced Peter into a primal battle of instinct. Injured and alone, he was rescued by Ezekiel once more and taken to a temple in Ghana. There, they set a trap. Ezekiel helped Peter yet again, guiding him to embrace his arachnid side just enough to trap Shathra and feed her to the ancient spider that dwelled in the temple's depths. Ezekiel then warned Peter that all things of importance come in threes, and a greater threat was still on its way. Once again, time passed. Then swarms of spiders descended on New York. Ezekiel returned, telling Peter that the gatekeeper had arrived. The gatekeeper revealed to Peter that he had been chosen not by accident, but because of the anger he carried from the years of being bullied. That pain had forged him into a hunter, one who would never give up. It was a truth that shattered Ezekiel's facade. Peter then realized that Ezekiel had been trying to pawn him off as a sacrifice to save his own life. After his confrontation with the gatekeeper, Peter awoke bloodied and broken. Ezekiel then told him that only one of them could survive and that he had to kill him. The two fought, and Ezekiel subdued Peter with a toxin. He then chained Peter to a column and poured his own blood into the ancient spider ruins. Ezekiel knew they would come for his blood and take Peter instead, allowing him to be free. As the gatekeeper transformed into a monstrous spider and approached to finish Peter, Ezekiel walked away. But as he did, he was overcome with guilt and returned to sacrifice himself, saving Peter and finally embracing the role of the hero he had long denied. Well, that's the story of Ezekiel Sims, a man who stole power, bent fate, and ultimately found redemption in the web he tried to control. If you enjoyed diving into this twisted tale from the Spider-Verse, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into Marvel's most mysterious characters. What are your thoughts on Ezekiel? Did you like how he was portrayed in the Madam Web movie? Drop your take in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And as always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to stop by the channel and check out this video. That does it for this one. Thanks for watching. Peace.